friends, Jerry Rosa here in the Rosa String Works workshop. I just got back from Mountain View, Arkansas this morning. Kind of been laying around just relaxing because it was a fun time, but it's also kind of tiring because I play almost nonstop the whole time. Fingers feel like they're about about that much thicker on the end of each finger because they're so tender. They're not really that bad, but we played a ton. I mean, a ton. We had a lot of fun. I thought maybe you'd like to see a few clips and things from down there. I took the twin mandolins along, and that was a good thing. I'm glad I did that. I really hadn't had much time between the time I put them together in the final video and I didn't get much time to play them and test them out. So when I took them down there, my intent was, to show them off a little bit, but to mainly, spend a little time playing each one. I didn't play them very much because I don't want to make them look like used instruments, obviously, but I wanted to play them just enough to test them out, and I did that. And you're going to see in the two video clips that I have on playing those two mandolins that the UK mandolin is actually buzzing on some frets down on the high end. Now, keep in mind, I've got the action set very low, so that's the first issue. You got to keep that in mind. And the second part is that, whenever you build something new, you should expect that. I mean, it just is that way. The first thing you really have to do on a new instrument is do a fret job and level the frets and recrown them and all that. And I think I did a light version of that, but apparently I need a little bit more in one area on the UK mandolin, and that's just kind of to be expected. The other mandolin, the Florida mandolin, didn't have that issue, so you'll hear in the video that it sounds like that mandolin cuts through better on the highs, and that's just simply not the case. Seriously, they sound almost identical. And everybody down there that was listening in the audience and everything I was asking about, most of those people were friends of mine. And so they give me their honest opinion, and they really couldn't hear any difference. So I really do think they're as close to twins as anybody could make. And so I'm very proud of them. And I hope you enjoy these videos from Mountain View. Hello my friends, Jerry Rosa here, and we're not in the Rosa String Works workshop today. Today we're at a little auditorium building provided by the Wildflower, which is one of the best bed and breakfasts that you could stay at when you're in Mountain View, Arkansas. We're going to pick a little tune for you today. We've got quite a few Rosa instruments on stage, and we got a couple that are just off stage that Ron, Ron because he builds the mandolin saddles for me. He's off stage going to hand me those two twin mandolins that you've been seeing the videos on how they were built. One of those twin mandolins is going to England, the other one's going to Florida. I'm playing the mandolin that I built several years ago out of a sycamore tree that was grown on my farm. I cut the tree down and made this mandolin. We'll go just around here. We'll start over here on my left, and we'll have everybody introduce themselves and tell a little bit about their instrument.
Hello, I'm Bill Pilliard, and I built this in Jerry's shop, and I bought this, it was a Martin kit out in Pennsylvania. And anyway, I put it together, and this is how it came out. They came out really good.
I'm Bruce Robinson from Oxford, Mississippi. This is a mandolin that Jerry, this was, if you go back in 2016, it was the Kentucky Mandolin Project. I bought this without a top, which is a long story, but Jerry carved the top, and then a year later kind of straightened out the neck on me, so on this mandolin. So it just plays wonderfully. His talent is unbelievable in making a bad mandolin sound great.
Thank you. Over here, Denise, why don't you?
I'm Denise McClanahan. I'm married to Ron McClanahan. And Ron, with a lot of help from Jerry, built this mandolin and lets me play it.
And
yes, hi, Jim Spadero from St. Louis. Jerry built this one for me, and it just plays like a dream, and it's a wonderful instrument. It projects really well, and it's a jam killer. It's just absolutely great.
Thank you. And back here on the bass.
Hi, my name is Chris Smith. I own the Wildflower Bed, my wife and I should say, own the Wildflower Bed and Breakfast. We also own the Mountain View Meeting Places, which is where we are, and I'm playing a 1952K concert series bass.
Very cool. Well, we're going to play a familiar tune that I think you've probably heard a million times. It's one of the few tunes that I can actually play. Sort of. Of course, now that I said that, I'll screw it up big time. We're going to play a little bit of Old Joe Clark. We're going to have everybody play it. I'll switch mandolins in between, and I'll be playing it about 4 times before we're done. So I'm starting off on the mandolin that I made out of the sycamore tree. Here we go. This video to show you this. Here, what's that? Some of you, I'm sure, will recognize it right away, especially those of you who are from the California area. There's 2 more, and then finally there's yet 1 more. So there's 5 of them. And they're abalone abalone or abalone shells. I'm not sure what the correct, I always called it abalone. So, or abalone. Now, these are, they're the shell that has the real pretty colors in it. Mother of pearl has some, I don't know, figure in it and some, waviness in it and things like that. But it's pretty much one color. Pretty much. I mean, I know they come in gold and, white and all that. You don't have to tell me all that. I know that. But I'm just saying in general, it's pretty much one shade throughout that particular piece of shell. This has, on the other hand, all kinds of colors through the shell. Green and, I'm colorblind. I think there's like green and reds and maybe even some blues or purples or something. I don't know. But anyway, there's colors in it. I can tell there's colors in it, but I can't really tell you what colors they are for the most part. But anyway, that all came from Mr. Michael Alexander, and he lives at the Sea Ranch, California. And then, isn't that a cool name? The Sea Ranch, California. Here's what he said. He said, enclosed are 5 abalone shells that have been sitting outside my front door for years. We used to have a thriving abalone season here in California. And, and he's talking about the coast of Sonoma, Mendocino coast, but the ocean kelp died away and left the abalone vulnerable to predators, which I would assume were sea otters, is what that's an assumption on my part. So the abalone season has been canceled this year. Hopefully the kelp will return and the abalone will start to come back. These shells are close to 20 years old, he says. I hope you can use them on your mandolins and guitars. I started to teach myself guitar a couple years ago as a way to keep dementia away. I kind of know that feeling. It's like learning a new language, and it is exactly like learning a new language. That's a perfect way to put it. Since then, I've discovered your site on YouTube, and I enjoy it very much. Well, I can just say this, Michael. Thank you very, very kindly for this. The challenge for me, first of all, you could have something pretty hard to cut this. This is not like, you just don't take this over on your wood cutting bandsaw and saw this. This will just burn a blade up and nothing flat. It's kind of like sawing rock, or maybe harder than that even. I don't know, but it's pretty hard on your saw blades. So my challenge is to come up with a method of cutting it and getting it flat and smooth, but I would love to use this on some instruments. Someone gave me some of these years ago, and I'll be honest, I don't honestly know what happened to them. It was a long time ago. I mean, maybe 30 years ago, somebody gave me a couple of them, and I don't think they were anywhere near this big either, by the way. But anyway, thank you, Michael. I appreciate it. Well, we thought we'd just give that another try and try one more tune. And we'll play a slow one this time just so that you can hear the difference and maybe hear a little bit more tone in the mandolins. And I just personally want to thank all these folks for helping me out to do this, and I hope you're enjoying it. So if you are, be sure to give it a thumbs up. We're going to try a little bit of Tennessee Waltz.
something about the two twin mandolins. The Florida mandolin was a little bit better on those really high parts, and the reason it was is nothing to do with the mandolins. I realized before I even left to come down here that there was some high frets on the UK mandolin down in this area. So I'm going to have to do a little bit more fret leveling on that particular mandolin to get those highs back. But there's nothing wrong with it. It's just something I didn't have time to fix before I came down here. So I just wanted to make that clear, so if you're, so that the comments won't come in, that one there didn't have the highs, well, that's because of the fret.
I interrupt this video to show you this. Wow. The Colin Meister struck again. Colin, cut it out. Wow, it's so nice. This is cool. It's a Casio labeler. I have an old labeler. It's an old one, and well, as a matter of fact, it's sitting right here. And it's a pretty old one, and it's my brother. The problem with my old labeler is it's always in the wrong place at the wrong time. Like I need it in the shop, it's in the house. I need it in the house, it's in the shop. And you just solved that problem, Colin. Thank you very kindly. I really appreciate that. But now knock it off, man. You're embarrassing me. You don't need to send me all this stuff. Thank you very much. Somebody said, just say thank you. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Colin. I appreciate it, man.
I should have looked up. Sorry. That's okay.
Thank you very much for watching. Please tell your friends.